In the first phase of the creative process, we are to be completely open, collecting anything we find of interest. We can call this the seed phase. We're searching for potential starting points that, with love and care, can grow into something beautiful. My practice right now is to write a poem a day. I don't pressure myself to share it because the point for these is not that they're finished works, it's just, did you do it? I think for forming habits, it's really important that you give yourself something that is small enough that you basically cannot fail at it. For me, a poem works like that because it can be any length, it can be any format, it can be any topic. So as long as I show up to do it and write down a couple lines, then great, you've done it. And it's kind of amazing how something small like that over time will build your confidence in yourself. Because I find that with creative work especially, if we're feeling this ebb and flow of like sometimes I'm inspired and sometimes I'm not, and sometimes I have big ideas, but like I can't really bring them into reality, it can be really demoralizing if we kind of feel ourselves like failing ourselves over and over. But if you create a practice for yourself that is absolutely doable every single day, then you will, over time, truly overwrite that belief that you're going to let yourself down. I have only been doing this for a month, I think, and so much of my negative self-talk has really disappeared. It's interesting too, because once you have that really small practice, you may naturally start building other practices on top of that. For me, it's been filming. So for the last 2 weeks, before I started filming videos that I intended to post, I just said, okay, in addition to a poem a day, I am also going to just sit down and talk to the camera for 10 minutes every day. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be about anything. I just have to do that, and I have to like get the files on my computer. And once I did that, then I started to have more and more confidence of like, yeah, actually not only can I do that, but I kind of want to do it every day. And now it's got this snowball effect. So for you, it might be something different. You might even say you had like a fitness goal, and maybe you have a lot of mental resistance to that. Actually start with something that you don't have resistance to. Start with something that its only function is to start wiring yourself to follow through on your intentions. Just let yourself do that for like a couple weeks and see how you feel. See if that changes anything. Then after that, maybe you add on something that's a little more pointing towards your bigger goal that you have more resistance to because it's more scary, probably because it's more important to you. I think a lot of artists have these blocks, and finding a way to put as little pressure as possible on what you're doing, especially in the beginning phases when you're like working these creative muscles and rewriting these fears that we have about ourselves and what we're able to do, the simpler, the more achievable, and the more compassionate, the better. So if doing something like writing a poem every day or some other practice that is like small but daily appeals to you, reach out to me. I have a little accountability group. We're just on Signal. It's very informal, but it's been extremely helpful to me, and I think to the others in it, with just having that little extra, just knowing that there's a couple other people that know what your intention is, and they'll know if you check in or not about it. I'm not going to be bullying anyone into doing their thing, but you can create accountability for yourself of any kind that you want. Like for me, if I don't write my poem every day, I have to Venmo everyone in the group $1. Last week I did actually miss a couple days, but I don't think I'm going to again. Even $1 is like, oh, surely you can just write some lines before you go to sleep. Yeah, so if you want to join us, I would love to have you, and we can develop our bardic skills together.